Hello, fire signs, and welcome into your reading for the first half of March, where today we're going to be taking a look at the energies as it relates to jobs and careers, love and relationships, and life path and mission. Now, before we get started on that, we take a look at what are some of the big astrological things going on in the first half of the month. There's still nothing in retrograde. And the big things are happening, the 9th, 10th, and 11th. So on the 9th, we have Mercury entering Aries. So it was in Pisces in the second half of February. So on the 23rd, and so this happens pretty quickly here. So on the 23rd, it was in Pisces, which was about kind of imagination and creativity. But then on the 9th, Mercury moves into Aries. And that's going to be kind of this quick, fierce communication where you're taking action and taking initiative. So that energy is coming in. Then the next day on the 10th, we have the Pisces new moon. And that is excitement about spiritual projects. So you're kind of getting ready for a new beginning. You're turning over a new leaf there. Then on the 11th, we have Venus entering Pisces. And that's about kind of craving more spiritual connections with people that you love. So you're going to have this push to be more compassionate and understanding and gentle. So that's kind of the overall energy. So I'm going to take a look at some things for all the fire signs, take a look at the tarot, and then we're going to go sign or individual sign by sign as well. So watch the general part, and then you can check in the description box for your individual sign. So overall, we have this Super 7 Quartz, Platinum Goddess, Bliss Gold. So there's this energy of relaxation, guidance, and inspiration. So sometimes there will be a specific crystal that is coming through for you to work with throughout the month. But today it was this Super 7 Quartz, Platinum Goddess, and Bliss Gold. All right, so let's jump in and see what all messages are coming through in general. And then we will go sign by sign. And I'll do the oracle cards sign by sign as well as pulling some additional tarot cards. All right, in the recent past, and so this is jobs and careers. Recent past, we have 5 of Pentacles. Current energy is the Page of Pentacles. And then future, or like next level of energy coming in, is the Devil energy. So in the recent past, it's been that sense of feeling like you've been locked out of your blessings, like struggling. It could be unemployment, perhaps, depending on your situation, but you've definitely been struggling and feeling like there's been a lot of hardships from a work perspective. And currently pushing you into this Page of Pentacles energy, which is kind of this loyal, like ambitious, consistent energy. So it's almost that sense of, well, this is my job, though. I'm just going to kind of hunker down and deal with it. Like I'm going to persevere and I'm just going to stay loyal to the company and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. The next level of energy coming in with the Devil in reverse, this is about freedom and independence. So it's kind of this like self-control and autonomy. So it looks like you're shifting from feeling this alignment towards your current job or employer, like that, that loyalty, that I'm going to consistently be the person that shows up at work. You're kind of looking at breaking free from that. So when we do each individual sign, we'll take a look at timing of what specifically that looks like, but breaking free of that cycle. And we'll see what that looks like for each individual sign. Love and relationships, we have the 7 of Wands in reverse. In the recent past, current energy is the Chariot, and then the next level of energy is the 2 of Swords energy. So actually, I don't know, this time it seems like my space is not as big as usual. Okay, there we go. So in the recent past with this 7 of Wands in reverse energy, there's kind of been this sense of like weakness and burnout, like you're just kind of getting tired of whatever is going on. So if you're single, like maybe you're getting tired of being single. If you're in a relationship, there's something that's grown stagnant, whether it's the entire relationship or a certain dynamic within the relationship. And the Chariot energy, this is about overcoming obstacles. It's about kind of that fast moving sense of, let's let's overcome this. Let's, you're determined, you want this to resolve, like you're tired of feeling burned out and stressed. So that's pushing you to this point of making a decision where you feel like you have a difficult choice and there's this like split loyalties. So that's kind of like finding that balance, like you're making a big major decision. If you were single, it's kind of that decision of, do I want to remain single or do I want to go towards this person that's coming in? If you're in a relationship, it's more of that, okay, do I want to continue to stay in this relationship or do I want something much different? So with this being like split loyalties, and it's really, it's a much bigger picture decision that you're looking at. So that's what's coming through there, and feeling like you don't really know what to do. So with the blindfold on, it's that feeling of, I don't really know what to do about this. It's a major crossroads and I'm not really sure. So especially with the arms crossed there, it's like, this is one of those decision points and, trying to figure out what to do. But you have all this pressure in the current energy of, I've got to do something. Like standing still is not an option. I have to do something. But then you're left in this energy of, but I don't know what to do. So we'll take a look at that in more detail individually for the signs. So with life path and mission, in the recent past, we have the Sun, currently sitting in the King of Pentacles energy, with the King of Swords energy as the next one coming in. So in the recent past, it's been good. You feel like you have this sense of, this is my life purpose. This is my mission here. And because of the fact that you've kind of had that realization in the recent past, you feel like you have this security and like this prosperity right now. Like, okay, I know what I'm going towards. So even if you haven't fully realized this in terms of anchoring it in the 3D, you know what it is, you feel comfortable and secure in that energy, like you know where you're going towards. And then with the King of Swords energy, it's that excuse me, it's that authority and discipline, like you're sitting on your throne. So this is a very strong sense of, you know what your mission is, you know what your purpose is, with having two kings in that energetic field for you. So based on this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with going through each of our individual signs. So let's start with Aries. Let's take a couple more clarifying cards on the jobs. Oop. And I'm going to throw the cards on the floor here. Sorry, there were too many to say, oh, that's a jumper card. There's like 8 of them that came out. So sometimes that means there's a lot of confusion going on work-wise. All right, we're going to pull 2 cards. So you have your 4 of Cups and you have the Moon. So on the job perspective, your 4 of Cups energy is going to be kind of some contemplation and some gloominess, a little bit of apathy going on as it relates to work. So, I mean, I don't know if you can see this very well. Look at that sad little mopey look on, I guess it's like a turtle's face. I don't know. And then you also have the Moon card, like what's happening by the dark of night. Like what is it that you're not seeing? What is it that, maybe there's some trickery, maybe there's some illusion as it relates to jobs and careers. Like you feel like somebody is trying to pull one over on you. So as it looks, like where you're breaking free from certain cycles or things that are keeping you feeling like you're locked out of your blessings, a lot of that is this sense of, you have some apathy because you feel like something is happening behind the scenes. You feel like people are trying to take advantage of you. People are trying to pull one over on you. And so it's making you kind of rethink what you're doing from a job perspective. But it looks like you are breaking free from that sort of, I guess, mentality or that sort of situation. So let's take a look and see timing wise, what does that look like? Spring. So that's, right now you're breaking free from that, whether it's having difficult conversations at work, whether it's changing things up a little bit, but you're going to be breaking free of that sense of feeling like you're locked out of your blessings and feeling like people are trying to pull one over on you. All right, now let's take a look at love and relationships. And again, oh my gosh, these These cards are wanting to jump. All right. So love and relationships. Seven of Wands in reverse, which actually we had Seven of Wands in reverse over here. So for you, Aries, this is a very strong message. This weakness and burnout. You are getting very, very burned out in your romantic, in your love life and relationship perspective. And then with your Three of Wands in reverse, there's a sense of you're clinging to the past. You're stagnant because you are clinging to the past. And that's what is amplifying this sense of being burned out, is like you're desperately clinging to some old model, some old belief, some old system. But now there's this push, this, fast moving. Okay, I'm determined. I've got to overcome this. I'm tired of sitting in this, like, reminiscing about the past, whether that's good reminiscing or bad reminiscing, and it's pushing you towards making this decision. But let's see, from a timing perspective, let's see what other information is coming from timing. At the most inopportune time is when you feel like you're going to be making a decision. So, that I would say is also one of those situations where sometimes you feel like, oh, okay, well, I think I know where things are headed. And then all of a sudden something, someone, some situation throws a monkey wrench in there. This is this Hidden Truth Oracle card. So this is a card related to your love relationships standpoint. You and I were too young. So if you're clinging to the past, looking back at a certain relationship, you and I were too young. So this is the message that's coming through, that, if there's a situation that's causing you angst, causing you this stress and burnout, and you keep looking to the past, you were too young. And so this is pushing you into this energy of, I've got to make a decision, even if the timing is inopportune. And some of it too, remember, with the universe, at some point, if you keep ignoring lessons, they're going to be put right in your face. So if you can get out ahead of this energy to make this decision, because this is future energy of making this decision, and that's going to be at an inopportune time because you keep kicking the can down the road and not wanting to make a decision. So, and the way that this is reading is that you're deciding, do I stay in this old relationship that's causing all of this, that's causing all of this weakness and burnout and defeated type of energy, with that showing up twice? I mean, statistically speaking, what's the chances of that showing up twice? That is a very strong message for you. All right, let's take a look at life path and mission. We have our 10 of Wands in reverse, and we have the 2 of Swords in reverse. So, you got some big decisions, because, your 2 of Swords in reverse is, there's a little bit of this sense of indecision, or kind of some sense of indecision going on here. I like how the Cheshire Cat is there too. Where Alice is trying to decide what way to go, and the Cheshire Cat is there. And I love one of the lines from it when Alice she comes to the fork in the road, and she asks the Cheshire Cat which direction she should go. And he says, well, where do you want to get to? And she said, it really doesn't matter. And he says, well, then it doesn't matter what road you take. So this is that sense of get clear in your mind where it is that you want to go before you set out, because how else do you know which road to take? Then you also have this sense of stress and burnout, in terms of doing the work. So with this, it almost seems like, this is more of the past energy, because you're starting to get some clarity here. But depending on if you're making changes up here, it's going to bleed down into here, feeling like, what is my purpose? What is my life path? So it's almost like this is bleeding down because of the fact that this is so clear for fire signs in general, and it's sitting pretty. So what changes between general reading and you? It's this situation. It's the increased stress there. All right, let's take a look at some oracle cards for you. All right, it's time to take action. And as I was saying, lessons will find a way to make themselves known to you. And if you keep kicking the can down the road, you're going to end up in a situation where you can't control it as well as if you were the one proactively making that change, making that decision. And this is new moon in Aries. So Aries, this is for you. A very, very strong message for you. New moon in Aries. It's time to take action. Stop kicking the can down the road. All right, let's take a look at our goddess card. Yamanya, golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. So this is still about making a decision. So since this one had a decision point, and then down here, since this is further off in the reading, I would say this is your decision line. There's also decision up here. You're breaking free from whatever is there. So walk through what doors are coming through or what doors are opening for you, but also down there on your relationship line as well. And remember, so we had this relaxation, guidance, and inspiration. What are you being inspired to do here, and what are you being inspired to do here? I think this one will kind of play out since there's a strong energy of, hey, you kind of figured out what it is that you want to do. All right. And the last of our oracle cards, we have this one. That tower is protecting you. So as it relates to this, how we were talking about, sometimes decision points come at the most inopportune moments. And it's a tower. It ends up being a tower. If you're not making a decision, if you're kicking the can down the road, it turns into a tower moment. But if it happens, let it happen. If it's on the job side, if all of a sudden, you felt like you were locked out of your blessings and you're kind of, this incoming energy is breaking free. If something happens, like if there's a situation at work where, there's 5 of you on the team and one of you is going to lose your job, if you already feel like you're locked out of your blessings and that there's people trying to pull one over on you, don't fight tooth and nail to keep a job. Let it happen. Like, let it go away. Or as you're looking at this, this whole, you and I were too young, it's time to take action. Like, let that tower happen. And have that faith and confidence and knowing that the universe has your back. So this is the reading for Aries for the month. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and notification if you wanted to be alerted as to when other new videos are posting. So I'll continue to have some additional ones like the Is This Your Person? Pick a Pile, Twin Flame, if that's applicable to you. So I wish you peace and joy along your journey, Aries. Alrighty, up next is Leo. Let's take a look at what messages want to come through for you to clarify this reading a little bit more. All right, with jobs and career, we have 10 of Cups in reverse, and we have 7 of Swords. So your 10 of Cups in reverse is kind of some trouble at home, some separation, some family feuds. Let me see, I don't know if that'll focus any better for you. But this is something where, this is kind of bled over into your home life. And sometimes, remember, trouble at home can also mean that sense of home and peace and belonging that you have within you. And then we also have our 7 of Swords here. So, you can see he's kind of looking sneakily as he runs away. So that's having to do with lies and cheating and deception. So, so there is a sense of something from a work perspective, like somebody has been either lying or cheating at work or deceiving you. Maybe you feel like you got passed over for a project, or it was something underhanded, and it's creating these feuds and this separation, kind of pushing you out of this loyalty into a sense of freedom. So if you're being pushed into this sense of freedom, let's take a look and see from a timing perspective, when does that look like you're going to reach that point where you've been pushed to making a different choice? It says by the next full moon. So we just had a full moon over the weekend. So that looks like it's pretty quick. So you're not going to be stuck dealing with these shenanigans for too long. You're going to be pushed to to a decision point sooner rather than later. All right, let's take a look at love and relationships and see what wants to come through for our Leos. We have our Page of Wands and we have the Fool in reverse. So clarifying the love and relationship message for Leo, because remember, this was that sense of feeling like burned out and kind of exhausted from everything, like just this sense of weakness, but this resolve that I'm going to do something, but then there's this big decision. Your Page of Wands energy, this is like some happiness and excitement. So you're choosing between the burnout and something exciting and kind of new that's coming in, but you also are stuck in this situation where you're fearing the unknown and you feel like you're unready to make that decision. So, right here it's looking at, you have the decision of, do you stay with the old that's leaving you burned out, or do you go towards the new, this new exciting chapter for you? And if you're single, it's like, do you stay, even if you're burned out being single, do you stay single, or do you go ahead and take that leap and go towards somebody? If you're in a relationship, do you stay in this relationship that's leaving you feeling depleted and burned out and kind of empty, or do you go towards something new and exciting? Not necessarily a third party energy, for some of you, it could be that you're deciding between the existing person and a potential, this other new person, but it can also just be the excitement of something new. Like, okay, I don't know what's out there, but I'm going to move forward anyway, because the Fool in reverse is the fear of the unknown. So that can also be the unknown. Like, I don't know what that looks like to not be in this relationship. So I'm kind of a little bit worried about it because I don't know what that looks like. But let's take a look at, this is the Hidden Truth Oracle deck. And let's see what message is coming through as it relates to your relationship. All right. I hid who I really am from you. So feeling, if you're feeling like you're kind of burned out, this is like almost like you've been trying to get somebody to open up and you're just tired. You're tired of feeling like you're the one doing all the work, like you're the one having to push the other person. And so the new opportunity is, what if I'm in a position where I don't have to keep pushing the other person? Whether you have another partner in mind, or whether it's just in general the idea of a relationship where you don't have to push. But there's some momentum, like, all right, come on, I need to get to a decision point because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the burnout. I'm tired of, feeling that kind of like weakness. So let's see if there's any messages coming through here about when you're going to land on like a decision point there. Once you fully surrender to the divine. So this is kind of that reminder that, everything happens for a reason. As long as you're in the energy of trying to control the situation, control the outcome, control how the other parties are acting, you're not going to be able to break free, because you're trying to figure out, how can I manipulate or control this situation? How can I manipulate and control this new potential situation? And in order to move forward, you really have to surrender to the divine and say, okay, there's a plan and a purpose. I need to sit in my, sit in my silence and figure out what that is, and then be guided from there. All right, and let's take a look at life path and mission, and then we'll do the other oracle cards over there. All right, so we've got the Five of Cups in reverse, and we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So as it pertains to life path and mission, with our Five of Cups in reverse, this is like moving on, and you're turning a corner. So you're not going to keep struggling trying to get to these cups. You're moving on, and like I said, kind of turning that corner. And this Knight of Pentacles in reverse is, there's a little bit of like this lazy, dull energy. Like, all right, well, I'm done trying to chase after that. I'm just going to sit. But with the rest of the message coming in so strong for the fire signs, that you figured out what it is that you want to do, or what your life purpose is. And then you have your two kings here, this King of Pentacles, King of Swords, where it's this authority and discipline and security and, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's almost kind of like you don't want to keep chasing after anything because you do have this stronger idea. So it's like, no, I'm not going to get caught chasing after something else. Like, I'm turning the corner from that. I'm accepting that I think my life path is pushing me in a different direction. And then even with this Knight of Pentacles in reverse, like, no, I'm not going to keep, there's a sense of laziness, but it's also like, no, I'm not going to keep doing this because I already know where I want to go. So it's almost that good sense of resolve. Like, I'm done with all these other distractions. I'm done with all this other nonsense. I know where I want to go. I'm not going to keep being a hamster on the wheel running, and nope, I'm just not going to do it. Oh, so the 2 cards that started to flip. Oh no, wait, that was 3. Usually when there's that many, I don't necessarily pull those. Okay, let's take a look at our moon card. Oh, I got 2. Luck is on your side and a new start is coming. So it looks like, luck is on your side as it pertains to, it could be any of these, but it's reading stronger up here because, like I said, I feel like for fire signs, this is pretty good in terms of your life path and mission. But there's a new start coming and luck is on your side. So, a new start here so that you're not stuck in this looping energy. A new start from a job perspective so you're not stuck in this heavy energy of feeling all this weight of these burdens and these hardships. So overall, it's looking very promising. And sometimes too, depending on your situation with this new start coming, if the person hid who they really are from you, there could be a major revelation. We have our Page of Wands, which is this happiness and excitement and optimism because, if they sense that you're starting to move away, there could be some major revelation, and that's the new start that's coming. That, they realize what they did, but if the person is still sitting in an energy of continuing to hide, then I think it's pushing you in a new direction. Like, hey, I'm tired of having to second guess. I'm tired of having to fill in the blanks myself. If you're essentially giving me tiny morsels of information or showing me who you are and I have to fill it all in my head, what's the purpose? Okay, then we have Sage, quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. So that's really going to come into play as you're at this decision point of figuring out what you want to do. Kind of the whole, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I think that does push you to that new start. Like, I'm tired of looping and living the same issues over and over again. Because remember, until you make different choices, you're going to keep experiencing the same thing over and over. So whatever the life lesson is, you're going to keep experiencing it over and over as long as you keep making the same choices over and over. So some of that is going to tie in too with this guidance and inspiration and relaxation. Like, take some you time, meditate, and see what direction spirit is guiding you. Remember, you chose this lesson. So if you're getting frustrated and you feel like you're looping and looping, work on your meditation, because all of these still go together. Work on your meditation and remember that you chose this. So you choose your lessons that you want to learn. I mean, I think I'd use the example of like in high school. There are certain classes that you have to take to graduate. So you chose what classes you were going to take. If you blow them off or goof off or skip class or whatever, and you don't pass the class, you're going to have to keep taking it. Like, remember that you chose to take it. So lean in, even if it's an uncomfortable message, lean in and make different choices if you want to get to a different outcome. So I hope this has been helpful for you, Leo. There's going to be some additional videos posting on the channel within the next week or so. There's always the dailies, there's the pick a pile, there's twin flames. Is this your person? So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to those. And as always, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. All right. Last but not least, we have Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, let's see what additional messages are coming through for you for the first half of March. All right, jobs and careers. We have our Knight of Wands in reverse, and then we have Three of Cups. So your Knight of Wands in reverse energy is going to be, there's some kind of like anger and recklessness about this. So this situation is making you angry. But then there's also with your Three of Cups, that's that celebration and that friendship. That's going to be breaking free from whatever over here is making you angry. So needing to learn how to stand up for yourself, how to advocate for yourself, how to maneuver out of this situation. Let's take a look from a timing standpoint of when it looks like, when it looks like you're getting to this celebration, friendship, community type of feel. Right around the corner. So it's coming in soon. So this is going to be a little bit of that fast moving, almost like with this being the, kind of that anger or recklessness or arrogance. It's almost like you get triggered that you're tired of having to sit in this energy of being like the loyal, consistent worker, kind of like you've been passed over too many times, you've been screwed over too much at your job, and boom, you snap and you're like, you know what? Done. I'm out of here. This is not okay with me. And then the celebration happens of, oh, thank goodness you finally got out of that terrible job. So that's the way that message is coming through. And so remember, when we talk about, does this resonate? This is kind of the path for people who have been feeling stuck in their jobs, like locked out of their blessings, struggling, unemployment, hardship. And if it was a situation where it's unemployment, then it's almost like that snapping of, you know what? No, I'm done. I don't want to be unemployed anymore. I'm getting out there. I'm getting that job. All right, let's take a look at love and relationships for Sagittarius. Clarifying that line, we have the Hermit, and we also have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So there's kind of some bad moods and like disappointment that's happening from a relationship standpoint. And then you have the Hermit energy, and the Hermit is this deep introspection. So you get to a point where you're pushed into this Hermit type of mentality. And this kind of bad mood, like being burned out and bad moods, has pushed you into this deep introspection about, really, what am I still doing here? Like, why am I continuing to loop like this? Why am I experiencing struggles? Why am I experiencing this hardship and feeling burned out? And, so in this one, he's kind of riding off into the woods, and then Alice is back there. But usually with the Hermit card too, it's about kind of showing the way. So normally, I was trying to look to see, normally the Hermit card, they're carrying a lantern. The Hermit's carrying a lantern. And so that's that sense of they are lighting the way. This deep introspection and soul searching puts them in a mind frame to be able to lead the way. So this is the introspection you need to be able to make this decision. So let's see, before we do a timing card, let's see what the Hidden Truth Oracle has as it relates to this relationship situation here. I want to be more than friends. So if you're single and you're trying to figure that out, there's somebody out there that wants to be more than friends. If you're in here, I'll pull another one. Like if you're in a relationship, because obviously that's somebody else out there as opposed to maybe a current partner. I replay our conversations over and over. Well, and that could be this, but there's also this sense of, if you've been arguing, if you've been fighting, the other person keeps replaying it over and over as well. But I think that's going to be the choice that you're making, is there's somebody in your energetic field that would love to have an opportunity to be closer to you, but you know, whether this energy here is because you're in a relationship, or maybe, you know, maybe this other energy is your job. Your job has been like sucking out your will to live type of thing. And, you know, you've been in a situation where you're just like, no, I just don't have time for relationships. And then now you're pushed into that energy of, is that really the case? I need to think about that. And then making that decision between, do I continue in a job that dominates my life and keeps me from being in a relationship? So, all right, let's pull a timing card of when it looks like this decision kind of comes to a head. Not in the foreseeable future. So it looks like there might be a long while where you're still kind of balancing this out of what road am I going to take? Because you don't really know where you're going. You're not really seeing it clearly. Like the blindfold on the person, you're not really seeing clearly what your decisions are. Like you feel like you don't have a good decision to make because of the fact that, you know, this card has to do with denial. Like you can't see the whole picture. So you feel like, well, I don't really know what I want to do because I can't see the whole picture. But one of the things, you know, as we talk about with lessons, is they don't just go away if you ignore them. So you will end up ultimately having to make a decision at some point. Or the universe may make the decision for you. If this person is sitting here saying, I want to be more than friends, I want to be more than friends, if you drag your feet for 6 months or 12 months, they may not still be around wanting to be friends by then. All right, let's take a look at life path and mission. We have Queen of Swords and King of Swords. So this is, you know, your swords are your thoughts, and to have the King and Queen is good. You know, that's that, I'll call it marrying or balancing of the masculine and feminine energies. You have King of Swords twice in here. And the Queen of Swords is, you know, she really kind of cuts away at the nonsense, you know, kind of cutting away at the BS. So that's good. It's, you know, you're anchored in. You're very thoughtfully anchored into what your life path and mission is, and you feel like you have that under control. All right, let's take a look at the Moon card. Don't let pride get in your way. So if there's a new start that needs to be coming, don't let pride get in your way. So, you know, if you have a big blow up at work and you're like, all right, I'm out of here. Don't let them guilt you into saying, well, but you know, you probably shouldn't have responded like that. So that's the whole thing of don't let your pride get in the way. And then that also can be here as you're sitting in this Hermit energy. Those two colors are going together very well as you're reflecting on what you want to do, that deep introspection. Don't let your pride get in the way. Like really think about what it is that you want and what direction do you want to go. All right, so then we have Nematona, Sacred Space. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. So this is about having that disciplined meditation practice and connecting, you know, work on your grounding. Go out in nature, go for walks, go to the parks, sit outside, listen to the birds, and really try to quiet your pride or your ego so that you can hear what the divine is trying to tell you. And then the last one is practice makes permanent. So I had a track coach that used to say that all the time, that practice makes permanent. It doesn't make perfect. So whatever you're practicing is what you're going to do. So make sure that whatever activities you're doing, if it's in here in the relationship line, make sure that what you're doing, those everyday little choices, is what you want, because that's what you're going to be permanently doing. If you're making those small choices every day, then it becomes kind of, you know, subconscious that you just start behaving that way. So make sure that you're being intentional with your thoughts and with your actions. So I hope this message has been helpful. Make sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted when new videos post. There's going to be a number of new ones this week. So as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest. And I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.